Ichi, my boy, you may be about to go boom. What's up, guys? That guy with a pencil here. Fun fact, I do have it. I'm so sorry, I don't know what that was. You have it on me and keep it on me at all times. Ain't no fun fact. Yeah. Come on now, dog. You know what time it is. It's time for Peachy the Witch. Peachy every week, you dog. And I'm so excited mainly because a certain song was on the cover of this again. And we open it up with a certain song. I'm telling you, when I am so happy Ichi the Witch is doing so well. I mean it with like every fiber of my being. This like, because here's the thing about Four Nights, right? Four Nights is a manga I've covered since its inception. I'm still missing chapters, which I may one day go back and it'd be so weird to go do the chapters now with how much insight I have, but it could be funny. But essentially, Ichi was a manga that I like grabbed the dice, rolled, and just threw out, right? You know what? I did my best because I just felt a certain type of with it. You know, I know a little something about how to catch the vibe. And luckily enough, this is one of my predictions that so far, again, let's speak it out of existence, but I believe it just surpassed like 1,000,000 volumes sold, and it's only what, like 5 volumes deep? Literally, because I think the latest volume, it went Ichi, Deskados, World Hater, Gokuraku, and Kamuki. So yeah, I think we're 5 volumes deep. It's already surpassed 1,000,000 volumes in sale, total. And on top of that, it keeps getting color page after color page after color page after color page, and not just color page after color page after color page after color page, but cover color page after cover color page after cover color page. And I'm talking about like the Viz manga website. That is amazing, especially for such a new manga, right? Like, obviously, you know, your One Piece is going to consistently get those. You know, they're going to do the general group spread ones. But the fact that Peachy the Witch is doing so well, it makes me so excited. So, I am so excited. So, let's not waste more time. Let's hop right into chapter 55 of Ichi the Witch Disco, which is known as, I don't know, because we're on this first color cover page. And I think this is just going to be a prelude, because we're probably going to get a new color page too. Let's see. What the? Who are you? I'm a witch, and I will hunt you. Ah, okay. Wait, here. Let me get mad meta real quick. I am currently peeking extra expeditiously over at my OBizzle. You may be like, Pencilman, why on earth are you doing that? It is literally because a friend of mine helped me install some software that now alters what sound gets captured and what doesn't. And I just literally let's get giga meta. I'm not even sure when this is gonna drop. It really depends on what I get done. If I can psych myself up, I'm probably not gonna drop this, at least not tomorrow at the time of recording. But essentially, I noticed that some of my typical sounds, it's gonna sound so weird, but if you've been around on the pencil channel for a while, you know I do make sounds. Anything that's not a clear, concise word, I notice is not getting picked up. Like, in fact, let me just. Yeah. Okay. So anything that's not a clear, concise sound. In fact, let me. Okay. So yeah. So certain things will get picked up. I just need to figure out an experiment because it did lead to some weird gaps in the board. So I think that couldn't fix because the sound just wasn't captured. So I'll get used to it. I'll figure it out. And I guess this will just kind of alter the way I record videos again. But I think that's fine. Ultimately, I'm glad to have all the little like. In fact, let me see something. Okay. Okay. So I'm seeing certain stuff get captured, certain stuff not. The sword draw doesn't get captured. That kind of hurts me because I love the sword draw. But the chair isn't getting captured, at least not immediately. So, admittedly, your boy is still experimenting. So don't mind me if I'm constantly looking somewhere else that isn't the chapter clearly, and or making extra strange noises, just trying to figure out which noises will get captured. But that being the case, I'm a witch, and I will hunt you. Talk that spooky talk, Ichi. Talk that spooky talk. That sound like a fucking spooky talk. But like, of course, I mean, I get why he intervenes now, though, because it's clear that Chrono was injured, right? And, like, obviously, Kizashi here is definitely all about that action, let's say. Let's see. Huh? A witch? Wait, but you're male. I was like, hold on a second. One of these things is not like the other. And it's those 2 words you just said, male, witch. That's not how that works, kid. Let's see. A witch? But you're male. Oh. Wait, so it's okay, so it's the same. Okay, so that, I mean, that's fine. I do not blame Shirozaki Sensei. I need her to do things to me, bro. I need her to do things to me, bro. Yo, here's okay. So, lore drop, not lore drop. It's kind of been in the description for a while, and it's been on the schedule for a while. But I've only just recently started consistently streaming, Friday after Friday after Friday, and consistently streaming. I'm currently playing through Hollow Knight Silk Song at the time of recording, and I presumably will not be done with that game anytime soon because I'm kind of buns. I am so buns in fact that people over in the strip chat, a certain exile, that made me weary, knows I feel a certain type of way about a certain character, dog. They know I feel a certain type of way about a certain character, dog. And a majority of that stream was 4 hours long, mind you. It was thick. So please, if you ever have time to check out the streams, go check it out. That guy, the controller, linked on Twitch. I'll see if I can like figure out double streaming. But considering the stream was already lagging, I was just streaming on Twitch alone. I'm kind of scared of double stream because like I'm afraid my internet will actually explode. But with it being the case, there was the boss. I finally made it at the end, like 3.5 hours. I made it to a boss, and I just kept getting whooped and whooped and whooped and whooped. And Weary literally said, "I have to leave, bro. I have to go. I have to get gone." And I was like, no, Weary, stick around until I beat this boss because I got it. Because the last two bosses in the previous stream I had first tried both of them. Like, I was just like, okay, I'm kind of good with the sauce now. I understand the game. The game is me. I am the game. I'm good like that. And I lost to the same boss over and over and over and over and over again. And Roman, the hollow boy, he popped in and was like, jeez, gang, I don't even know where the ladies bench is because I kind of first tried that thing. So your boy was kind of hurt. Maybe like, okay, what's all this context for? Since he knows that we know that Descaros is too fine for words. He literally started mocking me as if he was hanging out with her. And it was like, tell me why that rage bait actually motivated. Literally, I think it took like 4 more tries. It was like 4 or 5 more tries after he actively rage baited me with that, and I was like, nah, now I gotta do it. Like literally, I was so tempted to just end Strem because it'd been like 4 hours. And I'm like, this is taking way too long. It's gonna take way too much effort. You know, I'm probably not like mentally fresh. It's late. It's a Friday night. It's like 1 a.m. I can't be doing this. But no, he made me lock in because he and me and we all agreed Descaros is too fine. What I wouldn't give to be a rusty old barrel, right? No, okay, I gotta stop. But her design is immaculate, dog. It's very interesting aesthetic, though. I guess this is like, well, no. It's clearly pirate themed. But I think this is what's confusing me about the pirate theme. Like, I kind of, even though I tell you literally just the top hat, the different braids for actually look really, really nice. I do like that detailing. But there's specifically the top hat and the frills coming off of that. That seems like break the aesthetic a little bit. The purple does look good on her, though. And everything else is very complimentary. I do like the... But no, I guess the frills do work because like the frilly fit and the ties around the sleeves lean to the fit. So for Descaros, looking finer than anything in life, bro. If you were a Descaros cosplayer, hit my line. Hit it. at 111pencil.com. I have no idea, but hit my line. Then my boy Ichi looking fresh, looking clean. Look at the fit. This was. I wish I had a more genuine reaction to this, but this was the cover page for Viz. So I kind of spent I don't know 2 minutes just staring at it already and super analyzing it. So I don't have a super fresh reaction to this, but breaking it down, Ichi having a much more rough and grungy look actually does work for the character. You know, he's much more wildly based. So seeing him have the torn bandana wrapped around his wrist, the light is here that's interesting. Not only the rest of his fit is actually fine though. It really is just this that's actually a little bit tattered. But I suppose it's meant to signify how he's been sort of civilized, quote unquote. He doesn't have a hat himself though. Kind of sad. But his wand is still here. The fit is still here. Very nice looking fit on Ichi. Honestly, I like the base designs for these characters. I do hope we get more. For example, well, to be fair, it's literally just Killua. It's literally just Killua. And I have Hunter x Hunter on the mind also because of Strem. Please, if you ever have any questions for me and would like to know anything else or extra and I can't get to your comment immediately, come to stream. I answered literally everything. At least so far, the stream chat isn't so large that I can't immediately just take a second and read it all. So, if you ever do want, Fridays, 8, check out Strem, go follow the Twitch, let me know. But, with it being the case, I completely blanked on what I was about to say. Ichi, no hat. Oh, no, Killua. Essentially, the guy I have Hunter on the mind because of the last stream. Killua has a whole bunch of different outfits in Hunter x Hunter, and I'm hoping that maybe our cast and crew starts to get different outfits. I get why their most iconic looks are their most iconic looks, but notably, as cool as I am with Goku Raku's redesign in specific, I do want more redesigns. Clearly, Shiro's since they can design all types of fits. Though I do understand you have the base looks, and the base looks so far are all built to be drawn a lot, right? like Ichi's outfit is complicated, but not overly complicated as this one. Like there's not all the extra gradients, there's not the extra detailing on his arm, there's not the extra frills you have to do. Same with Duscross's outfit. It is poofy. It actually does have a very similar design to this outfit, but obviously with the baggier pants, you have to worry about drawing the form like this. The extra detailing and gradients on the shirt, you don't have to worry about that because her fit is mostly white. And then even her hat and like the cloak that comes around it is a every once in a while kind of like design choice. It doesn't pop up very consistently. Let's see. Oh, Jiki Shirone. Once again, a much more very interesting that they're super pale though, kind of playing into the whole ghost aesthetic. And even the mismatch, the black stocking and then the white stocking with the is it a fishnet? I don't know what this be called. I think like the fishnet going up it, and the white shoe and the black shoe. Very interesting playing into the contrast, you know, because it's a human magic or human magic fusion. That's nice. That's nice. Interesting though. I will admit, I was kind of expecting. No, because we've seen Jiki Shirone in color before. I don't know why I was expecting a different color palette for her. I think it's just because she's so far in the background and her face is so pale, it's like hard to make out the details of her face. It's almost as if they use like soft line work on like her actual facial features while hard line work on her face and like the surrounding hair. So I think that's it. Interesting though, you would think the hat would also follow the dual monochrome where like maybe one side would be black, one side would be white. But still, this is fine. This is meant to be her travel outfit, but kind of modified into a different outfit. So Jiki Shirone looks fine. Okamugi has a nice design. Once again, I'm just hoping she does something. Interesting that she does have a knife though. Once again, I do believe, well, at least before Kizashi showed up, we got context for him. I was thinking Kamui was actually going to be, well, if not the one to acquire Chrono, which could have been the case, I figured she'd play a very important role because we've just set up the idea that she was actually studying medical magic. And while obviously Duscross has like healing spells and stuff like that, she wasn't, I don't think she ever went down the mage path. She may have some magics that can deal with healing. But I thought Kamui was going to be super duper important to delivering the baby. And even this kind of like, I'm not sure what this is called, but like just her general outfit, it kind of does seem midwife-esque. So like I wouldn't be shocked, especially with her having the knife. She may have to perform a C-section to get the baby out. I mean, like obviously we're not gonna see that in Weekly Shonen Jump, I don't think, but like I don't know, it could be possible because notably I don't think Kamui's ever been depicted wielding any sort of weaponry before. Like obviously she's more so a writer or a scribe keeper. It's interesting that she's depicted here with a knife. Then we just have Gokuraku looking handsome. What can I say? The fit's fire, like the fit's fire, and I do like it that he has this sort of like vampire aesthetic going on. I think it's mainly just because it's the frills and the open shirt and the gold chains. He just looks very, very good. Though I'll admit though, I think because Uzuzaki-sensei didn't fully, I'm taking way too long from this clip, I'm so sorry. But since Uzuzaki-sensei didn't fully go through and draw their jawline fully, he doesn't look like he has such a super hard jawline like he usually does. It's only because there's no line connecting here and here, but you can definitely infer the jawline. He is a lot more lean build. Honestly, if there is one thing I do want from Gokuraku, I do want him to beef up a little bit, just so he has a more contrasting form to Ichi. Because Ichi's also very lean built. I know, you know, lean is law. Trust me. Lean is law. But with that being the case, I am hoping he gets a little bit beefier. Then again, though, he is like fully cybernetic. So I highly doubt. We're not fully cybernetic. Very much cybernetic, so it's probably not likely for him to get super duper beefy. But note how like everyone has mostly different builds. And I guess the build difference for Gokuraku is that he's just so much taller than Ichi and literally everybody else. So I guess it still works out in terms of build diversity. Oh, but except for 55th Hunt Neil. Interesting. All right, so let's not waste more time. Let's actually hop right into chapter 55 or 55th Hunt Neil. Ichi the Witch. Oh, I'm so kind of so happy. Let's see. Male witch, but male, but witch. Hang on. I heard something about this. See, what is it? How do y'all communicate? How do y'all keep hearing about this? You live in the ocean. It's only bothering. But here's the thing. I promise you, Osamu Nishi-sensei is messing with me. Like the fact that this keeps getting brought up, that magics have this like universal communication system, but we don't keep talking. Like Urawashi knew. Inazori didn't know, but then again, Uro just been captured. But like Urawashi knew. World Hater, like well, I think World Hater didn't know that Uro would capture it, but like, no, he literally said, "Oh, the rumors are true. You actually did get." So like, the magics know. They know. Like what is happening? Bakugami knew. Like how is this happening? How do y'all communicate? Who is the messenger magic, bro? Who is the iris of this Percy Jackson universe dog who keeps dropping all this info about? What is happening? I was like, hang on, I heard something about this. What was it? Male witch? Oh, Ichi the Witch. Oh, wait a minute. So, what did I just say about a universal magic communication system? I take that back. The World Hater himself? Itself? World Hater's, I mean, it presents male. At least, at least in my opinion, it presents well. I don't know. Let's see. Ichi the Witch! You're the one Lord World Hater told me about. I love how both Ichi and Deskros are like, wait, even me, because I thought, it was just building to the idea that, once again, Monstrix do have some weird universal communication system where they're somehow always up to date on happenings in the universe, and I do mean somehow, because it's never really explained. But no! But why does he... So does he not always live in the ocean? Huh? When did this happen? I mean, we don't know how much time has happened between the World Hater arc and now, but okay, Kizashi knows of the world, and seemingly actually knows World Hater, because notably Bakugami didn't actually know the World Hater, he just saw him once. Meanwhile, it's Lord Hater. But interesting though, Kizashi, who definitely seems to value, well, I guess that makes sense though. If Kizashi values strength, of course they're going to align themselves with the strongest and refer to them as Lord. I was about to say, it almost feels a little bit out of character for what little we've gotten of Kizashi, but clearly they do respect Chrono and their boundaries, at least when they were strong enough to make Chrono, or at least when Chrono was strong enough to make Kizashi respect their boundaries. And I believe it. If Kizashi attempted to detonate World Hater and he just made the blast warp out of existence, I bet Kizashi was like, you can what? But then again though, he's in fighting him. I mean, maybe it's just a respect thing. I don't know. Let's see. But both Ichi and Deskros are on edge. Hearing about that makes sense. Done. But yeah, that did absolutely no damage. That's the thing. Oh no, Ichi. I get it though. He wanted to intervene and help Chrono, and obviously it seemed like, at least at the end of the last chapter, it seemed like Kizashi may have just detonated the entire boat. So I get why Ichi intervened when he did, but I still don't. Ichi, I don't think you're built for this right now, dog. Let's see. Oh, look, Ichi was completely blitzed here too. He was completely caught off guard. So Kizashi is definitely a level above. All right. You have strong spells, right? Will you play with me in Chrono's place? Okay, here's the thing though. What I'm about to say is gonna sound absolutely crazy. If I did have the power to play with Kizashi and no one else would get hurt, I would. I always think of it if me and my Brody were to become Saiyans or Kryptonians or essentially any being, any race that has advanced enough healing, or at least the ability to recover properly, right? The issue with humans, right? When we break our bones, they do grow back stronger. It takes a very long time for them to grow back, and the same thing is with Saiyans, right? But Viltrumites heal really, really quickly. Kryptonians literally have a healing factor. Essentially, if we were to ever transform into species that could consistently heal ourselves, even if we weren't built for combat the way the Saiyans were, I would want to fight them. But we just probably wouldn't do it on Earth. If we're Viltrumites, we're probably brawling in the depths of space. We're probably fighting at the edge of the solar system or something. If we're Kryptonians, we're fighting galaxies away. We are not trying to accidentally destroy the planet. That's the thing. I would, if I had the power, I kind of would. Notably, I've talked about this prior, but Magic type immortality, where they just can keep regenerating over and over and over again, would kind of be my ideal type of immortality, where no matter what you do to me, I'll just keep coming back. I would, once again, it may have even been last review where I was I'll fight in the forest with a grizzly bear and please help the bear. I don't care, because it'd be fun. So but I think that would show a weird difference in perspective. And notably, I'm a guy who currently at least doesn't even like fighting. I could go learn how to fight. I will eventually once I'm in better shape, but I don't know. I kind of do get Kizashi's want, especially what else does he have? What does he do? Obviously he thinks he's friends with Chrono, and he serves Lord World Hater seemingly, but I don't know. Interesting. Let's see. But yeah, he blitzes Ichi and seemingly blitzes. Oh, interesting. So he can fly with his Gamma Burst too. Oh, and someone did point out, apparently, octopi do actually have a direct tie to radiation. And the idea of Kizashi wielding radiation does actually make sense within the context of being an octopus. I didn't know anything about that though. I knew camouflage and stuff like that. I did not know octopi had any sort of relation to radiation, stuff like that. But they do. So thank you for the people for informing me that, because I definitely would not have checked if it wasn't for the comment. Let's see. They both fly up. So he blitzes Ichi, flies up. Deskros, please go get your son. Deskros, please go get our baby boy. Please. Please, your life is on the line with him. Let's see. Deskros, now's not the time to scream his name. Go after him, please. Let's see. Ichi! Oh, he folds. Oh, interesting. Kizashi himself turned upside down. Oh, but yeah, so he doesn't have freeform flight. He does. It is a consistent. Interesting though. If this is his gamma energy, it seems like it's constantly releasing water. So I wonder if it's just does the water he release is irradiated, or does the gamma energy he produces turn into water? I don't know. Let's see. Ichi the witch! Listen well, I will now tell you my... Oh! That's actually... Oh. I was like, that's not too bad, but then it got bad. Alright. I will now tell you my trial. It's simplicity itself. Kill me. Snuff the life out of me. How does that work, though, if you're immortal? I think that's like, how does that work if you're immortal, though? I get, like, well, maybe you can? And maybe Chrono could have done it, but because he's a Magic, he couldn't... I guess Magics can't claim other Magics, right? I guess probably that's a rule. But we know Magics have magic circles. Because of Jiki Shirone. Like, their host is trapped in... Or no, Jiki Shirone, the human, is trapped inside their own body because the Prophecy Magic possessed their body and put them in their magic circle. At least that's what Hitsugi says. And I don't think Hitsugi would be lying about that. So... maybe Magics can capture the Magics? Or maybe he just never gave Chrono the trial? Or maybe Chrono never even wanted to bring one? I don't know. It's interesting, though. It's simplicity itself. Kill me. Snuff the life out of me. Ichi's like, well, I'm low-key into this. I don't like it when you say that. Let's see. Oh, alright. My name is, the Octobomb. Alright, interesting though. So not the Octonuclear, not the Gamma Magic. The Octobomb. So we may still run into a more radiation-specific Magic. Maybe. I don't know. Like, it really depends on if Ichi actually ends up claiming him. Like, would it make sense? I mean, he's really powerful, though. But then again, we just don't... like, Ichi only does seem to have, like, one-off uses of each of the spells, right? He doesn't... like, he can't continuously use them. Then again, even Descaros, like, doesn't seem to do more than, like, one singular... but that's because the one... and this is one critique I will agree with that I've seen for Ichi the Witch. The fight scenes in Ichi the Witch, unless they are between two humans, right? Like, I think, unironically, at this point, 55 chapters deep, the best fight scene in the series is Ichi versus Gokuraku. But why is that? It's because they're physically fighting hand-to-hand. At least in terms of the magic utilization, it's very rare for the Magics to do anything but one big attack and then, like, kind of disappear. Or they'll show up and do one thing, and then that one thing will just happen, and we don't really continue off of that. I'm thinking of Descaros using the rope dragon to bind the Bakugami's physical form. I'm thinking of Ichi. Every single time he uses Inazuri, it's usually just like one hit and then Blade shuts down. Or when he used Urawashi, it was one big attack, but then again he amped Urawashi. And then again, we saw Urawashi like travel around. But essentially, in terms of the battle scenes themselves, I do agree with I just flat agree with the common consensus around Ichi the Witch that Shooter Uzumaki Sensei's art is fantastic, but they do need to build more into the battle scenes, make them feel more dynamic. Of course, this is heavily based on the idea that we just can't see Descaros fight for extensive period of times, because she's currently, as far as we know, the strongest witch in the series, so we're not allowed to learn her entire kit just yet, because we gotta keep that on lock. And for Ichi, he's just very inexperienced with magic, so like it wouldn't really make sense for him to have these super extensive, long, complicated fight scenes just yet. But I do hope we build to that, especially considering Kizashi does seem really powerful. I'm hoping that we actually get to see an extensive fight scene between the two. Let's see. My name is the Octobomb Magic. My nickname is Kizashi. Well, I guess, because Chrono is the Chrono Weaver Magic, so his name is Chrono. But the thing is, Inazuri is the Raiko Magic, but his name is Inazuri. Urawashi was the Isame Magic, but the name is Urawashi. The Origuma Magic's name was Ariana. Interesting, though, that he says his nickname is Kizashi, not his actual name. And he claims his name is his title. I wonder if that's like a personal thing, or if that's actually how, like, is Urawashi just like a chosen name? Is Inazuri just, but no, like, when he first gets the Inazuri stone, like, Descaros says that's its true name. So like, interesting that Kizashi isn't the real name. So like, if Ichi does capture Kizashi here, like, could he not say Kizashi? Would he have to say Octobomb Magic? Alright, let's see. My nickname is Kizashi. What? There are 7? What? Oh, we're getting into Koski. So, is Hitsuki one? Hold on, let me read the line for it. I'm one of the 7 stars in service to Lord World Hater. What? What? Why do y'all keep starting? He's gonna erase you too, right? Like, am I tweaking? Like, well, Kizashi may be into it, but like, is he not gonna erase you guys too? Like he's going to destroy everything. He's not just going after humans, dog. Why do y'all serve him? But there are 7 stars. Interesting. I'm trying to think of... funnily enough, when I think about it, 7 is actually, like, kind of an odd number for a villain group. I'm thinking about it. Like, I'm thinking of, like, big bad villain groups. of recent memory, and like the 10 commandments from Seven Deadly Sins are 10. The 4 evils of Four Knights Fame are 4. The 4 archangels were technically antagonists, but once again, that's also a 4. The Akatsuki are, I think, like 10 or 12 or 20, 10, 11. I'm not gonna go through the name of the Akatsuki, but they're I know it was more than 10. I know it was more than 10 because there are all the different duos, and there are like 5 separate duos, and then there were the extras like Zetsu and stuff like that. The Espada were 10. The Vandenreich, well, they were pure. The Sternritter were 26 because of the whole alphabet theming. I think I'm even missing one there. Yeah, I'm trying to think. Like, 7 is actually kind of unique. Like, the only 7 group number I can think of is the Seven Deadly Sins of Seven Deadly Sins fame. So interesting. 7, the 7 stars. So I'm guessing Kizashi's one of them. Obviously, he just says he is. Is Hitsugi another one of them? Is he a rank above the 7 stars? I don't know, because I still think it's interesting that, oh, and now that someone pointed that out too, the idea of Gamma, and then we saw Hitsugi say Alpha. These are letters in the Greek alphabet. So, but they're only 7. It's not like there are 26 stars in service to Lord War Hater. So interesting. I do wonder, like, if the usage of Greek letters has anything to do with anything. But I'm assuming we've met 2, right? I'm presumably Hitsugi, who most of our main cast didn't meet, but at least Jiki Shirone met, and Kizashi. They're both 2 of the 7 stars. All right, interesting. So we're setting up a proper antagonist group, and it's going to be interesting because this is going to be the rare cases where we are going to presumably turn our antagonists against our antagonist, right? Like, we're probably maybe 100, 200, maybe hopefully 300 more chapters down the line. We're going to see Kizashi used against World Hater. Because I'm assuming he's probably like, unless they leave, I'm not sure how, but they can't, right? Like, I doubt Kizashi's gonna let them escape, especially with Chrono being weaker. And maybe they could escape on their like little comment boards, but I'm not sure if Kizashi would let them do that at this point. Now that he knows Ichi's here, so I don't know. I think they kind of like now where Chrono was like, okay, they're probably not gonna capture him because he's a little bit too powerful. Now they may not capture him, but at the same time, I think they kind of have to because I think they've entered a boss fight, right? Chrono is like, how do I put this? Chrono is a secret encounter that you can walk out of, right? Like, you like essentially think of it as Sephiroth in really all the Kingdom Hearts games, right? You go to the Platinum match, or you go to just the Great Maw in Cage 2, and you can fight him, and he can whoop you, but then he'll leave, right? Same thing with Chrono, right? And that's the whole idea, that Desperado's like, we didn't really come here expecting to win or claim you. We just want some information. We got it. Deuces. But for Kizashi, he's a mandatory boss fight now. Like roll, Bono. You want to progress the story? Guess you gotta beat Kizashi. All right. Let's see. I hate humans because they're weak. Oh, I mean, that surely is a reason. Let's see. I hate humans because they're weak. So if you want to acquire me, prove that you're strong. Of how he does little finger. Oh, but interesting. He is. I mean, unless he's firing it from his lower tentacles here, now he's doing freeform flight. Interesting, but he's very honestly. I don't like it. I don't hate. And actually, I kind of glazed over his color palette. He's purple and green. He actually has a similar. I think about it. He's like a fusion of Gokuraku and Kamugi's color palette with the green and the purple. Let's see. Essentially, I actually do like Kizashi's person. I don't know. Maybe, once again, maybe because he reminds me of a friend, and also just because I think, like, obviously I don't agree with his ideology or anything like that, but he seems, once again, he'd be a fun guy to be around if he wasn't so monstrous. Let's see. Prove that you're strong. Kill me, Ichi the witch. On my face. Uh-oh. But Ichi's immediately like, maybe I shouldn't have stabbed this. Like, maybe I just should have let this to the Chrono Weaver magic, bro. Uh-oh. I know this feeling. I felt it before. Oh. So yeah, so Kizashi's a few tiers above Ichi. So we're, I mean, like, we keep dancing around. Are we actually gonna get to see Deskross fight? Hold on. Like, I mean, like, really fight. Notably, well, I do like her little bit of showing against the World Hater, and like the little bit we saw of her in chapter 1. Like, we barely got to see any of her fight. We had to see why. Like, despite the series running for like 55 chapters and Deskross being confirmed, well, if not outright confirmed, she's called the Abyssal Witch because she's consumed so many monsters, right? She's passed so many trials. But like, we've seen her use maybe 10, which is still a lot, right? 55 series. That means like she gets a new magic like every 5 chapters, but still, like, Golconda, the dragon, the finger splagooter thing, Speed Ray, Ding Dong, the turtle, And I know I'm pretty confident I'm missing 4. But even if I'm not, like, it may be last. So, like, ultimately, maybe we should see Disgrace fight, because I think this guy's still out of Ichi's range. But the thing is, though, I do wonder, like, are we gonna buff that? I mean, like, we could buff Disgrace. I won't be mad at him. Let's see. I felt it before. So yeah, but you know what? I believe it. I believe it. Like, notably, the whole idea I talked about last chapter. If since Kizashi just generally seems to have gamma powers, I assume like he should be a whole tier above. Oh, but you know what I like? I like how it's portrayed that he is a whole tier above what Ichi currently is, but he's still lesser than the World Hater, right? This is a good way to display their power just visually, or at least their power in comparison to each other. Because both trigger death for death, both have an exceeding amount of bloodlust. But note how Lord World Hater has the entire skeleton behind him, right? All these different bones that fold into themselves, the skeleton hiding, or no, the skull hiding behind the rest of the skeleton. Like, that's just that. And notably, all that Kizashi has, that's still big, but all Kizashi has is the skull, right? Showing that Lord World Hater still levels above. This is very interesting, though. Ichi is still being triggered enough where he's like, no, like, I gotta boom this man right now. Let's see. Whoa! Okay, wait, Ichi. wait. I'm not saying the arch is started or anything, but buddy, maybe we don't round start ult. Maybe we don't round start way. Ichi, maybe you run back to Desk. Maybe you do something. Maybe let Deskgrass come up. Why are you knocking yourself out? Ichi, no, it's not the time. Is he actually gonna pop ult? Why is he popping ult? Why are we really? I mean, like, I get it. Your goal is to execute him. But, yo, why? Wait a second. Hold on a second. Why does Shuri actually look so gassed, though? Hold on. He actually, unironically, he does look like a Raika or, no, a Raijin, like a thunder god here. Okay. So Uro's infusing. Jeez. So now, who are we missing? Because you've seen Urwashi Uro amped. So now we of the 2 remaining modules that Ichi has, it's not named Uro, obviously. Because presumably, like, this is the Uro manifestation for him. He needs to use Ariadne and Bakugami. That's gonna be interesting, though. Once again, the thing I'm most interested to see with Bakugami. Oh, I like that. I love how all the different paws come out. Oh, no, these are his tails. Oh, that's even cooler. Other than his tails wrap around and they all center around Kizashi. But I'm very interested to see what Bakugami's magic is gonna be. Like, it's gonna be weird because his magic was so reliant on like time passing and build up and physical. Like, I have no idea unless Ichi can like forcefully inject sadness into people. I have no idea how that's gonna work out. It's gonna be interesting seeing Bakugami get used, but especially him Uro amped. Like, I'm actually very considering how powerful he was. But that was those 10 years of build up. Like, imagine if the Bakugami we saw during the Kakumi arc was Uro amped. Like, that massive beast he sent to bother Deskros for a while. Imagine that thing Uro amped. Let's see. Boil. Oh, that's so cool too. I was like, wait, where is he? That's Ichi's reflection in Hizashi's eyes, right? He's like, Hizashi's looking on like, oh, I didn't know you were built like that, G. All right, okay. Yeah. Something tells me it probably didn't work though. I mean, it clearly did fry him and boiled him, but he's like, once again, in a very similar vein to last chapter, where he was kind of just electrocuted and basically walked it off. I don't think that did enough. And he's already knocked out. Deskros? Put our son on your back, please. And Goku Raku with but that's the thing, our casting, and that's cool. I like the detail that his one good, like, original hand is still, like, a regular hand, but his mechanical arm that he had to get replaced is a fully black, like, prosthetic. But Goku Raku, like literally, I think Deskros is the only one who's all in here. So this is why we still have Deskros running around and not sealed away, because we're going to run into Maltrix that literally just can't be handled by Ichi. And then Goku Raku's here for the support. He catches Ichi. He's gone! Ichi! Is he okay? What was that crazy? I still like how he glazes Ichi, even in the moment. Is he okay? And what was that crazy cool explosion? Now, I mean, I'll admit though, that was some gas. That was some gas. Actually, if I had to pick between these panels though, I think it's just because I love this design. Like, this design is immaculate. I think I do prefer this panel, even though it's in this panel where he's attacking. But okay, Inazari. But But Gokuraku's still glazing. She's like, yo, why is he? I did not, you know you had motion like that, twin. Let's see. He's okay. He's just asleep. Ichi's okay, Master Deska. Yeah, he's fine. Obviously, Desuras is locked in on Kizashi because, like, he's clearly fine. Yeah, but Ichi, my boy, man, he's gone. So he's cooked. Like, that is one thing I'm interested in, though. But, funnily enough, this does feed into the idea that everything's one big attack and it's going to stop. But hopefully Desuras is going to combat this. Essentially, Ichi did launch one big attack. It was very, very cool. It was very, very well drawn. But battle's already over for him. Like, he's knocked out for 3 days. So I guess Ichi's not going to be a major part of this arc. But Desuras actually gained the fight. Makes sense. Because, yep, he's fine. Woo! Yeah! He's saying it. Again! Yeah, I did nothing. Well, wait a second. No, it didn't do nothing. It did. Okay, so that did kill him. That's so it's not okay. So I remember I thought I saw something about like the 315 meaning something like symbolically. That's just the count. So wait, Descartes, you gotta murder this man more time. But I do wonder what was his original number at. If presumably that counted as, so that's interesting. Even though his physical form, like, it didn't even like destabilize. Like, being completely honest, like, he didn't actually do much. Like, shocked him a lot. But note how his physical form doesn't even like slightly destabilize here. And we've seen, like, notably, I'm putting so much emphasis on the idea of physical forms destabilizing because we've seen that Magic, when they actually do take serious amounts of like damage that would in most contexts be lethal, if they're able to actually take damage from whoever they're fighting, like, their body does break apart. We saw this with Urawashi when Inazuri was used on her. We saw this with Origumo when Gokuraku kept decapitating them. We even saw this with Bakugami when it was getting brutalized. So the fact that Kizashi's physical form, it just takes light burns, that's interesting because it still counted. Like, I'm assuming it still counted as a death. But he's once again, he's just excited by it. Thing is though, like, he can fall. It just takes a lot of energy. So I wonder, how many times did Chrono but notably interesting, when Chrono banished him, like, last chapter, that didn't count as a death. Because he started off at 315, he was still at 315, but only this knocks him down to 314. Interesting, though. Kind of crazy that you have your counter built into you, but still, that feeds into the whole idea that Magics are like, they're like the slug cats from Rain World, where some of them are just pre-designed, or seemingly all of them are pre-designed. I haven't played Rain World, by the way, I just watched Sweet's Online's video on it. But still, he's fine. But he has 314 lives left, which is still crazy. Let's see. Again! Again! Oh, that was... Oh, wait, let me slow down. Oh, so that's King Uro? That was so awesome! It's been ages since I got shocked to my core. Who shocked you previously? I mean, presumably there are other electricity magics, but, like, who did that? Who's the last one to do it to you? Wait! You're asleep? Oh, why'd you have to go and fall asleep? Is that it? No! You gotta wail on me with that like a bajillion more times! Give me more, Uro! More! Well, to be fair, that was Ichi, that wasn't Uro, but... You know, well, not a bajillion more times. So, is he aware of the counter? Like, hold on. Where is it? It's at, like, the top of his spectrum. Well, he may not know how to read. He probably does, though. But, like... And, like, he's been in water, so he could probably just look at the chart. Like, does he notice the counter going down? Like, he says a bajillion, but, like, 314 is still a lot. Like, there's a lot of death. That's gonna have to go to work. But 314 isn't, like he has to notice the number. Like, he must even feel it, right? Like, I don't know how that would feel, though, right? Like, how would a marking on my body changing feel? I have no idea how that would feel. So maybe he just doesn't know. Maybe he can't feel it. But still, interesting. More! And Uro M spell didn't work? Well, it worked. Just not enough. If he could do that 314 more times. Yo. So he needs 3 days of every single rest. Let's say he could do it. How many years would it take Ichi? How many years would it take Ichi to actually do that? So, 3 days, 3 times 314. 940. Oh, honestly, not too bad. So, and we'll divide that by 365. So it would take Ichi approximately like a little over 2.5 years to actually, if he could just like run away, come back, Inazurium, run away, come back, Inazurium every single day. Like, not 2.5 years. It's still a long time. But Ichi wouldn't even be a full-grown adult by the time Kizashi was actually like fully dead. So, technically not a raw deal, but obviously Kizashi wants more immediately, not after 3 days of rest in between. And obviously that would mean Ichi would stop everything else, presumably, unless he can hunt lesser magics and like increase his arsenal. Let's see. Mugi, prep comments for everybody. I'll buy time. We're retreating. Yo, is this just world? Yo, it's like Osamu Nishi Sensei heard me complain. I just don't really think the world here is all that tough. You know, they were kind of getting bullied, and it's like, hey, Buckaroo, I got some. I mean, like, you could technically argue this isn't world hater upscale, but I'm not sure how else to read this. Deskros doesn't even want to fight him. I mean, maybe she's just able to tell that the ranger's attack is so big that even if she could fight him, it's just too small of a space to risk with. But then again, retreating, like, are you going to take Chrono and Minerva with you? Like, I don't know. Like, leaving them here with Kizashi obviously isn't good because Kizashi's proven he's strong enough to even damage Chrono. It's like, are they gonna stay? Are you just gonna abandon them, Desgro? I don't know. But she's only says she'll buy time, which implies that Kizashi would be enough of an extreme diff fight for Desgro that she couldn't beat him or beat his trial all her own, which actually is Kizashi upscale, which then once again upscales World Hater. So World Hater actually has become a threat, retroactively, admittedly, but still, I can work with that. I can work with that. We're retreating. I got all excited when I heard he got a hit on Lord World Hater, but that was so sadly, well, sad. Aw. Yeah, weaklings suck. I mean, like, I guess that's the thing, right? It goes to the whole idea, funnily enough, speaking of, like, the ideas of weaklings. JJK, right? The idea that if you don't, like, if you're weak, and you're say you're so strong in a world full of weaklings, but the world itself is defined by combat prowess, it probably would drive you crazy, at least to some degree, or you'd feel very, very lonely. And that's how I feel like Kizashi felt, right? Like, ultimately, when Chrono was still powerful enough to combat him, he wasn't alone. And presumably, the thing is, though, does he not fight the other 7 stars? Like, do they just not engage? Like, couldn't they just... Like, the thing is, I wonder where Kizashi sits in the power hierarchy of the 7 stars. If there is a power hierarchy, right? Like, does Hitsugi bully him? I don't know. Hitsugi was kind of getting bullied by Descaros. So, like, is Kizashi higher than him? But to be fair, Hitsugi was also fighting in a human form and didn't bother to, like, actually enter the Leo campus state, which may amp them. But essentially, I am actually intrigued because in JJK there's the whole idea of the isolation leading to loneliness and loneliness leading to madness, or sometimes. We see this with Kashima Hajime, we see this with Ryomen Sukune, we even see it with Sasuru Gojo, the idea of the strongest being alone. And ultimately, they're always at their happiest when they actually get to meet someone who's actually able to compete with them. So Kizashi, whose seemingly entire existence is once again kind of in that JJK system where his whole existence is based around combat and power, and seemingly once again, I do believe the Magics are at least in some way designed or intentioned in a certain way, very similar to the Slugcats from Rain World in some cases. I bet like his whole thing is like just fighting. I don't know why he doesn't fight the other 7 stars though, right? Like there must be, like, I'm guessing the World Hater has rules against something like that. Probably rules against fighting it itself, right? Or maybe just Kizashi can't find him. Because presumably, somehow Kizashi did meet with him and talk with him sometime between the World Hater arc and now for him to have this information. But, interesting. Yeah, weaklings suck. Oh, well, he went from relatively chill to immediately rage baited. Alright. Like, what is even the point of you lot? Who says you're allowed to live if you can't keep me satisfied? I mean, you could fight Descaros though. Though I do what like Descaros, like, you can't whip this guy. You can't whip this guy. You were kind of bullying Itsuki. You were putting numbers on World Hater. Like, is Descaros getting crapped already? Hold on now. But then again, if we have to creep Descaros a little bit to keep her in the narrative and not put her in a box for a majority of it, do what you need to do, Nishi Sensei. Do what you need to do. I need more Descaros. Let's see. Interesting though. He very, very, very self-centered view of him. But this only makes me believe more. He must be weaker than he has to be on the lower echelon of the 7 stars. Or they must have, like Hitsugi, they must have specific counters to him to prevent him from fighting them. Because presumably, obviously, he doesn't like weaklings in general. So I assume even other Majiks that are weak would probably be attacked by him. But in this case, he's only interested in fighting the strong, but he's not fighting the other 7 stars. In fact, he's been in this ocean for years at this point. So I'm guessing he may unironically be like the Gyutaro of the group, where he like gets humbled by everyone above him. Or I suppose Akaza would be a more apt comparison, especially with him seemingly being strong enough that Descaros doesn't even think she could beat him. She could only buy time while everyone else escapes. So maybe he's like the Akaza of the group, where he's just not as powerful as like a Hitsugi or whoever the 2nd star is, and those 2 won't fight him. And he's not allowed to slaughter the lower ones. So, maybe that's it. Let's see. Oh, but see, look at that. Even Gokuraku, who hates Magics, is like, I can't run smoke with this one. Kamugi's terrified. She's running. Cover your ears. Interesting. Oh, Minerva actually is still here. So those 2 are still in close proximity, presumably still hiding in the boat or hiding in the spell. And Chrono just looks annoyed. But to be fair, I understand that. Oh, so it looks like Destro's about to go to work. Which of you squishy humans infesting everything? You're so weak, yet somehow you're still alive, and that sucks. Trash like you doesn't deserve to exist. How dare one of you seduce my bestest bud ever? So still, yeah, why is he not best buds with any of the other 7 stars? Do they just not like him? that may be the case where they're like coworkers, they just don't like him. At this point, I feel it because I have no idea why else he wouldn't have at least some form of connection with them, at least not consistent connection. I don't know. Let's see. Screw male witches and darn. So, like, was Earl one of the 7 stars? Like, World Hater at least had enough respect for me. He's like, leave. So, like, what was Earl then? Like, was he just completely separate? Let's see. Screw male witches and screw Earl too. Weaklings need to stop getting my hopes up. Okay, Duskuraz, tweak on him. Tweak, please. Baby girl, what's your name? Loan up the Glock and shoot him in the face. But she does actually have the Glock magic. Let's see. What is this? Hey. Ichi? Hold on. Wait. No. Hold on a sec. We haven't heard from him in a little. Wait a minute. This wait a sec. I'm gonna hold on. We're gonna go back. I'm gonna do a little thing. Hey, disrespectful wretch. I was going to let you finish, but then you had to go and mouth off. Even Chrono is scared. Alright. What insolence. Every single one of you. Oh yeah, I know this. Even Kizashi is shivering, but is it from excitement or fear? That kind of looks like fear. That's what. Nib, you're in the presence of the king. Yeah. And you know what the crazy thing is? I wish I could almost like beam my thoughts directly into your dome, but I can explain what just happened in my head. I had read the hey, and I was like, who could that be? Because that didn't seem like, obviously Duskuraz didn't say it because I was entirely separated from her. Obviously Kamugi wasn't going to say it. And, like, none of the characters here could have said it. So that only left Ichi. So I was like, okay. So that's why I kind of went with a more neutral voice because I wasn't able to tell who it was. But then the wording was like, that can't be Ichi. So I took the gamble, and that's Uro. And the thing is, I was going to be like, maybe this isn't actually that too much of a good thing though, because why is essentially, like, speaking of JJK, unironically, why is he Sukuneing right now? Like, why was he able to take over Ichi's body? We don't know that. Why? I presumably it's probably something to do with the lapse effect that takes place whenever he needs to knock out for 3 days. We do know that Uro has some jurisdiction of where, like, Ichi's consciousness/soul ends up. Like, we've seen he ends up in the magic circle. He explains everything to Ichi there. And we do know that Uro is essentially focused on snuffing out Ichi before it was too late. But, there are a couple worrisome things here. But, first things first, I was about to say, maybe this doesn't make sense. This would be the first time that we've ever seen a magic take over a human. No, it isn't. You know who set the foundation for this? Wait, one more? Shiki Shirona. She set up the prophecy magic set up the foundation for a human to lose control of their body to a possessor type magic. Now, Uro being a possessor type obviously wouldn't have been recorded because he's never been captured before. And it's interesting that this is only happening now. And now I think about it, did he... Ah, that's interesting. So the hat that he has folds. Oh, wait, let me see. No, he does. Yeah, he does always have the crown, but now the hat literally fades away. The feathers that make up the hat fade away to just leave the crown. And interesting, Ichi's fang, like, he gets sharp teeth, or at least seemingly sharp teeth, and no clawed hands though. But you can see the extra details around his eyes that do match Uro's extra eyelash detail. But there are two main considerations. I do like that this does build on what Jigishon established, that magic can take over their human hosts. So that's actually interesting. Number two, this does feed into the idea that ended the Bakugami arc. The idea that Uro was like, I need to take care of this kid before he gets too much. Like, he's like, ultimately the Bakugami did a horrible thing by making this kid realize he has any sort of authority over us. We are his servants. That's not good. So I need to take over that. But now, with that being the case and Uro having the body, One, how long is this going to last? Will it last the full 3 days? Are we actually going to see an or technically an Uro versus Descarados rematch? Because we didn't really get to see much of their original fight. So how's that going to work? And number two, what stops Uro from just booming Ichi and breaking out? Right? We know why the Prophecy Monkey doesn't boom Jiki Shirone, because they need the host to exist for one, and for two, they actually seem to care for Jiki Shirone. But in Uro's case, he just doesn't want to be here. So I'm assuming there's probably going to be some stipulation that he can't simply take Ichi's sword and just like immediately off himself, right? Because that would presumably maybe take him out too. Maybe it's like if you're in control of the body, if you do that, you destroy yourself then. And maybe Uro would have to wait to incarnate. Or once again, we don't fully understand how the magic incarnation system even works. So like this is truly just shot in the dark, shot in the dark, shot in the dark, shot in the dark. But I'm assuming there has to be some rule built in like that why he wouldn't immediately do this. Number two, I do wonder how much power he's going to be able to express. We know that Uro was actually able to take Descarados to an extreme diff, to the point where, in fact, we can go back and look. We're gonna go far. We're gonna go back in time, all the way back to chapter 1. Don't worry, I'll be back. But we're gonna go all the way back. Uro, well, just by himself, mind you. Remember, he is the Ultra Amplification Monk, so maybe he knows other spells. But for all intents and purposes, despite Descarados pretty much beating him, beasting on him a little bit, to the point where she did basically have him pinned. She had his number, right? All the way back in chapter 1. The laws of the universe stopped her, and then Uro was able to keep fighting, but Descarados was clearly too fatigued to maintain fighting. Or at least, like, that's what seemed to be the case. Maybe she was going to keep fighting after this, but clearly she was kind of cooked by the end of it all. So Uro was powerful enough to go toe-to-toe with Descarados and pretty much overwhelm her completely, and of course Ichi manages to come in while Uro still is clearly fatigued. So these two are relative, right? That's the big thing. These two are relative. But that's when Uro is just himself. Now, Uro, depending on if he has access to all the magics that are in Ichi's magic circle, he has Inazuri, which was clearly enough to tick down the counter on Kizashi's chest, meaning that Inazuri is powerful enough to slay him when it's being used by Ichi, presumably as a proxy through Uro's magic. Not Uro himself. He has Urowashi. We saw how effective that was against the World Hater. Not too effective, but still big enough in scale that it was actually useful to some degree. I mentioned earlier, we don't know what Ariane is going to look like, and we definitely don't know what the Bakugami is going to look like. And obviously, it seems like Kizashi may actually end up being captured here. And I'm guessing that's going to be to the fact that Uro, in comparison to Ichi, probably doesn't have the cooldown. And presumably could maybe even amplify his magic even more. But obviously, this has to come with some sort of cost, so I wonder how Ichi's going to get his body back. I do wonder, once again, if this will lead directly into a rematch. Because clearly, this is reestablishing Uro as, once again, a almost Sukuna-esque figure. Except he's not fully a Sukuna-esque figure because he's not the strongest in the verse. That seems to be Lord World Hater. But the fact that not only Descarados is shivering in response to his presence, we know why. She did push her to an extreme diff previously. And while she probably has gotten a bit stronger, not too much stronger, then Chrono, who's already been getting weaker and his wife is here, is obviously terrified and clearly was unable to fully handle Kizashi. And Kizashi himself begins to shiver, seemingly on instinct. And once again, he's not smiling here when he shivers. He's not excited. He realizes that he has now angered the king. So, I'm very interested to see how this is going to go down. This was gas. This was gas. So, overall, if you made it all the way to the end of this chunker of a video, please do me a favor and leave I've done this so many times before, but I think in this case, because it's actually been a little bit since we've heard from it, it's been since the end of the Bakugami arc since we've heard from Uro, leave Return of the King in the comment section down below. And thank you so much for watching. Please leave a like, share, comment, and subscribe. Make sure that all we can post up as hell on any videos that come to the channel. Also, we have a Patreon down below where you can support me for as low as $1 a month. Things like exclusive videos, early content, and more. Also, now becoming a member of the channel for as low as $3 a month to get the same perks and more. So those perks include the live reactions to the series I am to review, ad reactions of all my videos, and if you become a $12 Patreon or $12 member, you can order whatever video you want. Also a link to my Ko-Fi in the description down below, and drop 5 minutes for a short video, 20 minutes long video, or any means at all. Any support is always greatly appreciated. Now, I'd like to thank you so much for watching once again, and I hope you guys have a wonderful day. This is That Guy with the Pencil, writing off. I'd like to give a thank you to our sketch tier members: Eternal Flame, Red Wolf 4765, Astro, Glacier XZ, Zera, Brandon Payne, J2MA, Guillaume, Bura Ura, Alex Kenny, Enzo, Swift Strike, Super Flame Zero, Yuki Ally, Azo2404, Striker Man, Aso8, Grim, Marco 222, Straw, Twisted, Ollie, The Boy, Corey Watson, Damon Brown, Magic, CCC, Official Popeyes, Ramondo Furen, Crie Panem, Seraphiel, and Dino. Then, like to give a thank you to our line art tier patrons: A+A, Kevin Encarnacion, Dread Zoan, Sean, and Midnight Lord 21. Then, like to give a thank you to our Ink tier members: King RTX and Shrimpo the 4th Shrimp 06. Then, like to give a thank you to our digital art tier members: J Warrior and AZ Void. And even a final thank you to our colored art tier patrons: Walking Munoz and Walking Munoz.